Hello everyone, Space Oyster here, and welcome back to Charmander Conquers Platinum, or Sinnoh, or whatever we're calling it. Anyway, in the last part, we dealt with Team Galactic at 2 of the special lakes that had special Pokemon, and in this one, we are continuing to make our way to the far north, where the last lake is. Alrighty. Ooh, Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime is one of those surprising Pokemon in that I didn't expect it to get an evolved form, but it did. In the Sword and Shield region, Mr. Mime has a regional variant, and that regional variant evolves into Mr. Rime. Ooh. Kind of weird though, I didn't think Mr. Mime really needed an evolution, especially since it got buffed at the start of Generation 6. At the start of Generation 6, Mr. Mime becomes half Fairy, and Psychic and Fairy is a really strong type combination. And yeah, then the Galar version makes it even worse because then it becomes Psychic and Ice. And Ice, as you may know, is defensively at least one of the worst types ever. So yeah, pretty much anything that becomes half ice instantly becomes worse as a result. Ooh, Scyther. Alright, anywhoozin'. Slash, how dare you slash my bird puns? Oh my goodness, and it got a critical hit, because Slash has an increased critical hit ratio. But this is not Generation 1, and that will not save you, Scyther. Alrighty. Well, let's go ahead and swap our bird pun out. I know we're right next to a healing place, so we can just heal up, but it helps to get as much experience as you can. Alrighty, so Fire Pun can take on Scyther, no problemo. Alright, let's see here. Let's just go for Flamethrower. Why not? Why not? After all, I agonized so much on how to get that move, and actually, if I hadn't taught it by TM, then Charizard would have learned it on his own by this point, so... And their Reflect wore off, hooray! Ugh, having hail constantly going on in this area is very annoying. Oh my goodness, audible gasp! We have a Ghost-type move, and I misclicked. Alrighty. Although, Flamethrower probably will deal more damage. I don't know. It's probably the super effective Swindle, but we have a Ghost-type move for a reason. Although if I need Cut, it's gone. Alright, anyway. Shadow Claw. Boosh. Well, I don't know if we would have got it without the critical hit, because we got the KO with a critical hit. Hooray! Hey, that guy's name was Garrett. That's neat. Anyway, time to go back and rest up, because we want to be at the full health for the reasons. And that the reason being, we want to be at full health. Alright, anyway, back to it, whatever it may be. Alright, ugh. Yeah, and unfortunately, the next part, or this next route, 217, has lots of deep snow that you can't really avoid. Oh, Lucas. Are you maybe on your way to Snowpoint City? That's where I'm going too. If I use Fly, I can get there instantly, but I'm walking for my training. I have no problem with this. I'm used to the cold because I go barefoot and lightly dressed. Achoo. Oh, that was nothing. Really, I'm not cold at all. I'll be going now, please take care. Utterly insane. She is barefoot in the snow. You know what they call that? They call that, frostbite. She's not gonna have feet if she ever gets back to her hometown. Emphasis on the if. Ooh, Electabuzz. Oh no, Electabuzz. Bird Pun has a quadruple weakness to that. Alright, but fortunately, we have Super. And Super can handle a silly Electabuzz. See, she's already doing it. She resists, or she was immune to that Thunderbolt. Alright, and Swift. Swift will not do anything. Also, Swift is a weird name for a move. If I remember correctly from what I heard about the translation, I think it was called something, or it wasn't really called Swift. I think it was like Agile Stars or something. It was something star related, which is why the move Swift has a bunch of stars in it. I don't know why they decided to call it Swift above all else, but who really cares? The point is, they called it Swift. Oh my goodness, that's a Magmar. It went and it knows Flamethrower. Oh my goodness. Well, to be fair, you can get the Flamethrower TM at the place where you can catch Magmar. Well, close enough. Alright, well, it's time to quake these earths. Hooray! We have gotten the one-hit KO. Good job, Super. Alright, and now we gotta heal. Where's that milk? Let's see. Alright, Moo Milk for the Super. I also should have deleted Surf while we were out and about, because we're about to get the Waterfall HM, and I would much rather have Super use Waterfall. Alright, who's in? Well, much rather have her use Waterfall than Surf, but that's the thing for another time. And that was a blue shard. One more and I can get Zen Headbutt, I think. Alright, anyway, here's a lady to battle. But personally, I would not recommend going too far out of your way to explore in this route, just from how tedious it is. Ooh, Snorunt. Anyway, yeah, tedious to explore because of all the deep snow. It's really not worth it. Anyway, Snorunt. Snorunt is an interesting critter. Starting in the debuting in the 3rd generation, Snorunt had one of the most lackluster evolutions ever. It evolves into Glalie. Glalie is somewhat notable in that all of its base stats are 80. So it's got perfectly balanced base stats, and they're all around average-ish. So in theory, Glalie is a strong enough critter. Oh, there's an item. And there's a Ninja Boy next to it. Let's battle him. Poof! You've got a good eye spotting me. Why, thank you. Anyway. So since Glalie was very lackluster and Snorunt evolved into it at a very high level, I think it has to get to 40, it was very, very terrible. Snorunt got a stealth buff in this generation because, for the female ones only, they can evolve into Frostlass, a ghost psychic type. She has the same base stat total as Glalie, so roughly the same number of stats, but they're distributed much better. Frostlass has a better emphasis on speed and special attack, which really paid off with the physical special split in this generation, because she can use Shadow Ball to hit with a ghost type move off of her better attacking stat, which is very, very fortunate. You know, Ultra Ball, and I'm immediately going to contradict what I said earlier by exploring a little bit. Oh god, this guy's going in circles. Alright, anyway, so yeah, that makes Snorunt a little bit interesting. And then Glalie did get a Mega Evolution, but the only notable thing is Mega Evolution can really do is explode. Mega Glalie's normal type moves get turned into ice type moves and have their power boosted, and it learns explosion. So, match made in heaven, I guess. It's the same thing with Alolan Golem. It turns normal type moves into electric types and also gets explosion. Right, and then this Pokemon here is Snover. It's got possibly the worst possible type combination ever conceived of ever in the history of mankind ever. It is grass ice. I was about to say grass snow, but snow is not a type, ice is. Anyway, yeah, so half grass, half ice. That gives it a quadruple weakness to fire and a plethora of other weaknesses it can't really compensate for. And its evolved form, Abomasnow, doesn't really do much favor with middling stats. The only reason to ever consider using a Snover, or its evolved form, Abomasnow, is for its ability Snow Warning. So when Snover or Abomasnow are sent out to battle, they bring a hailstorm with them. So if you're using a hail-oriented team and you need the hail, then they can bring it for you. And that's about the only reason to use either of them. Well, yeah, that's pretty much the only reason to use Abomasnow. Well, that and probably to make Obama puns, because those are fun too. It's also one of the many, many reasons why Fui Coco is the best starter. It's, well, in Scarlet and Violet, because it's a Coco Bomba. And a Fiesta Croc. So, you know, you get all the references in when you use a Fui Coco. Compare and contrast to a Weed Cat or a, Duck. Although I did pick Quaxley for my first Scarlet and Violet playthrough. Well, Scarlet only. I didn't pick up Violet. I'm not picking up both of those games. I don't wanna. I was tempted for a little while there, and then I got to the post game and there was nothing to do, so my interest completely died. Yay, Bird Pun is level 41. And Bird Pun's stats are super duper low. Oh my goodness. Alright, anyway, let's go ahead and put Yoga Pun up front next. Since we're dealing with lots of ice types here, Yoga Pun's fighting type moves will be able to handle it. In theory. Oh god, this snow is so deep, and there was nothing over there. I think this route is actually a bit smaller than expected, but it comes across as unreasonably huge because of this crawling pace we're forced to take. Like, literally, I am moving as fast as I can here. Oh my goodness. I don't know who came up with this, but whoever came up with this should be set on fire. And that is not an exaggeration. If I knew who it was, I would set them on fire. I keep matches on me at all times for that express purpose. There's a ninja boy here. And the worst part is you do need to actually explore this route a little bit thoroughly, because this is where HM07 Waterfall is at. And if you do not get HM07 Waterfall, you will not beat the game, because that is necessary for story progression. Ugh, and that's a score rupee. Fortunately, we still have Rock Tomb, but unfortunately it missed. I was about to say that before it even actually missed. I am prophetic. Rhymes with pathetic. It must be true. Maybe. I have no idea. Is it? I think it might actually be kind of cheating to rhyme prophetic with pathetic. Toxic spikes? How dare you, sir? Unfortunately, Rock Tomb hit that time. And it didn't get the KO. At least it lowered their speed, so they're a little slower too. Ugh. Yeah, I definitely need to get rid of Rock Tomb. I hate it. I hate it so much. Although, thinking more on it, one of the main coverages for electric and or ice type moves, which are the two things I was considering most for Yoga Pun. Yoga Pun, well, the main thing to use either of those moves for would be flying types, but I generally do not want Yoga Pun to be battling flying types. Let's keep Yoga Pun in for now, despite what I just said. And that reasoning is Golbat tends to lead with Confuse Ray, but this one's a little bit more smartical. Anyway. And yeah, so since I usually don't want Yoga Pun to deal with flying types, it's the other types that ice and or electric can heal come into consideration. And for electric, the only other type is water. There are a lot of things that don't resist electric types, but only flying and water are actually weak to electric. And, well, since my starter is a fire pun, it is important to be able to hit water types, so I guess that's a good advantage. Meanwhile, ice can hit dragon, ground, and is there anything else? I think there's more than just dragon and ground in addition to flying for ice. Suppose it'll come to me. Anyway, not the point. The point is, Yoga Pun might get more mileage out of an ice-type move, or I could teach it a fire-type move, and it can deal with bug types and grass types more easily. While I was fighting my way through the blizzard, I dropped an HM. If I still had that hidden move, Rock Climb, I'd be able to scale sheer cliffs. Oh, Rock Climb's out here. Wait, then when do I get Waterfall? Because you kind of do need that. Oh wait, I remember where I get Waterfall. Never mind. Oh god, TM07 Hail. Anyway, in Scarlet and Violet, they actually dexited Hail. And they completely changed up how the Hail weather condition works. Oh, right. And if you're curious, you actually can go back and talk to this guy and tell him, hey, I found your HM. I think. Hey, what's this? You found the hidden machine? But I'd already given it up for lost. And you found it! It's yours to keep, my friend. Make good use of it. I like your honesty, though. Let me reward you with this. Ooh, the icicle plate. 2 make matter, and 3 make spirit, shaping the world. That icicle plate, I found that under the snow as well. I'm no expert, but it looks to be of ancient origin. Even as old as the time when Sinnoh came into being. Oh yeah, those plates were around in ancient Sinnoh. Yeah. Anywho'sin. Alright, and I believe getting the Rock Climb HM marks that we're near the end of the route. Oh, I hate you, deep snow. And unfortunately, unlike with the swampy areas in the Safari Zone and that one route near Pastoria, there is no way to tell which parts of the snow are deeper than the other parts. Pilo Swine, oh my goodness, it's adorable. Unfortunately, being adorable means it is no match for my fresh yoga puds. Let's hit it with a Drain Punch, and I should really use some PP ups on that, because it's gonna need to PP more. Alright, anyway, a super effective Pure Power boosted Drain Punch makes short work of ice types, for fighting is one of Ice's many, many weaknesses. Alright, next we have Glaceon. Ooh. This is the Icy evolution. As you can tell, it is an ice type. I believe Glaceon's key stats are special attack and special defense. Because, you know, that's exactly what ice types should be with their poor defensive typings. Slow and defensive. Honestly, I don't know why they keep making ice types that are slow and defensive, because it's clearly not a good idea. They need to be fast and hit hard. It's the only reason why ice is even relevant is because of the ones that hit fast and hard, like Weavile. Alrighty, anywho'sin. Oh, there's another house over here? Oh my goodness, and I saw a guy to the south. There's a girl right there. Oh, we have so many people to battle. A person, a rare sight. Thank you for visiting. A gift. A spell tag, TAG. The spell tag, it intensifies ghost type moves. May it serve you well. All right, and then I think if you leave and then go back into the house, she's gone. Oh my goodness, what was that? I bet it was Zorua. Zorua is totally a Pokemon that existed in Generation 4. Actually, well, it's really not. It's Generation 5, but the funny thing about Zorua and Generation 4 is that to get a Zorua in black and white, you need to have the special legendary doggos from a certain event. And only then will Zorua be available in black and white Uno. I guess to compensate for how ridiculously difficult they made it to get Zorua in that game, they just give you one in black and white too. And then Zorua hasn't been too difficult to catch ever since then. Yeah, they really kind of messed up with Zorua at first. But I think they wanted it to be really special. I think there's even a movie that stars Zorua, and its evolved form Zoark. But I wouldn't know, I haven't seen it. I think that Lucario and the Mystery of Mew was one of the last Pokemon movies I ever saw. It was a neat one, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, not the point. The point is Yogapun is gonna drain your punches, sir. And that is indeed a male Sneasel, for Sneasel is one of the Pokemon that has gender differences. Let's see. There was a specific word for that, but I forgot what it was. A gender dimorphism, that's it. Anyway, male Sneasel have a longer red ear than the female Sneasel. Or Sneasel. It doesn't really make a difference. It kind of makes the male ones look more badass, IMO, but a female Sneasel can hit just as hard or potentially harder than a male Sneasel. It all depends on their attack stat, not their appearance or gender. Anywhoozin'. Oh, right. I'm using the dowsing machine on my Poketch. I'm looking for things buried under the snow. You're not a trainer. Anyway, this rock here. This rock is very important. Let's go up and activate it. Oh, right, and one of the Pokemon I wanted to catch is on this route. Let's see, that is a Sneasel. That is level 33. And unfortunately, I have Super in front. I did not think this through. All right, let's try to Earthquake him. Her. That is a Lady Sneasel. Anyway, I think those gender differences persisted in the Pokemon Legends Arceus when Sneasel got a regional variant that is half poison, half fighting. Very weird type combo. Not unique though, because another Pokemon has that, and that Pokemon is Krogunk. Anyway, I know he's already holding a thingamadoodad, but let's go ahead and put the Smoke Bomb on Super. Sorry, she. Gotta remember, that's a lady. Alright, anyway, she's gonna get the Smoke Ball. And then we can give her the Soft Sand back later. Or I could have just put Disney in front. Disney would be able to run from most things here, I believe. Another Sneasel. Sneasel, I am not interested in you. How dare you waste my time? Alright, yeah, anyway, I'll fast forward to when I find the Pokemon I want to catch. I'll see you guys in a little bitty bit. Oh look, there it is! Yes, we are using Swinub. So, Swinub is a, one of the many Pokemon that was added to the Platinum Dex, because Swinub also got a new, well, I was gonna say new evolution, but it's a new final form. It evolves into Piloswine, and then Piloswine evolves into the new one. Anyway, not the point. The point is, I wanted to use one. Swinub is available so late into the game that I'd imagine on most people's casual playthroughs of Platinum, they don't even consider it. But I consider it. Anyway, let's see. So she digs in the snow. I think she's based on some sort of cow thingy. I should have thought about names more. I didn't know I was going to be encountering a girl Swinub. You know what? Let's just use the name I planned anyway. And that name is Pichan. Very good reference to an anime most kids can't watch there. Anyway. Alright, anyway, so let's take a look at our new adorable Pichan. She has a quiet nature, which means she's boosting her special attack. And she raises her evasion in snow. That is an illegal move, madame. Alright, anyway, she is going to need that EXP share, so let's pop that on her. And let's give Fire Pun, let's give her back the choice specs. Alright, anyway, if you intend to use Swinub's newest final form, Mamoswine, do make sure that if there is the option to catch wild Piloswine, that you still start off with a Swinub. Or at least for Generation 4 anyway. So the reason being is that move Ice Shard. I should have highlighted it. You know what, let's go and highlight it while I talk about it. Alright, anyway. Ice Shard, Ice Shard, Ice Shard. There we go, Ice Shard. So, Ice Shard is basically Ice-type quick attack. It's guaranteed to go first and has 40 base power. And that is what makes Swinub worth using. Or rather, Mamoswine. A priority Ice-type move should be very helpful, in theory. And yeah, I have actually a lot of access to Ice-type moves, but the fact that Swinub gets access to it for stabbing purposes should give it an edge. Give her an edge. Sorry, I have to remember that Pichon is a very useful Pokemon. Anyway, yeah, so I don't think Piloswine can learn Ice Shard, and Mamoswine can't learn it either, but Swinub does. It learns it at level 28, and it doesn't evolve until level 33, so there's no reason to rush getting it, necessarily, but just the same, make sure to raise it up from a Swinub so it can have icy priorities. How dare you swagger me, good sir? Do you really think I will fall for that? Super is going to end you. Also, I was holding on to the Earthquake TM for Pichon. Pichon really wanted to learn how to Earthquake. And yes, Charizard can learn how to Earthquake. Lots of critters can actually Earthquake, now that I think about it. I think it's one of Meganium's few saving graces, should you choose to start with Chikorita in the Johto region. Yeah, anyway, so at this point I just need to have my adorable Pichon gain a single level, and then it'll evolve into Piloswine. But to evolve into Mamoswine, that takes a bit more effort. Piloswine will only evolve if, and only if, it is leveled up while it knows the move Ancient Power. And that would normally be fine in most situations, but for Piloswine, it is actually a bit of a problem, because it does not learn Ancient Power as it levels up. It's in its move pool, but it doesn't learn that upon evolution or anything like that. You have to use a move tutor. At least in Generation 4. Yay, Super wants to learn Rain Dance. Who wants Rain Dance? I mean, having Rain Dance for the next gym might actually be helpful, but we don't want it. No. No. Niche utility is not good enough. Actually, I could have probably taught it and then... Strategizing. Anyway, Riolu. So if you don't hatch the egg that Riley gives you, then this is your Riolu sighting for the region. Make sure you battle this guy. Or hatch the egg, whichever happens first. Which reminds me, I am going to make sure I need to make sure I record one of these in the middle of the night so we can see Rotom. And Fire Pun is almost level 45. That was my goal. And I think I do have a rare candy I could just feed to Swinub, but I find holding on to those rare candies to be pretty useful. In fact, on my phone, because I have a legitimate phone copy of Pokemon Fire Red, I managed to excel in a Nuzlocke I'm doing on that by tactically using a rare candy to evolve Charmander into Charmeleon before Rival 2. Well, actually, I think it's technically Rival 3, but no one ever does Rival 2, so it's Rival 2. Anyway. Anyway, I guess I kind of cheated at that Nuzlocke though, because I attempted to start the rival battle without using the rare candy, and it did not go well. I couldn't even get past Pidgeotto, so I reset, used the rare candy, and tried again. Which I guess does kind of ruin the spirit of a Nuzlocke, but that's not the point. What is the point is we are battling whatever this lady's name is. Baneri, oh my goodness, her name's Olivia. Why are you using such weak Pokemon, Olivia? Do you really expect you'll become an island kahuna with basic Pokemon? Oh, who am I kidding? The answer is yes. Kahunas are in a modern Pokemon game, and modern Pokemon games have no teeth. Unless you give them teeth. Alrighty. Although, the fact that this lady is a mandatory battle on the way to the 7th gym speaks volumes of Platinum Zone difficulty. Oh, look at that. She does have a fully evolved Pokemon. It's just a Seaking. Anyway, Seaking is actually one of those more interesting Pokemon I find. Well, it's not interesting in and of itself, except for how widely available it is. I do believe that Goldeen and Seaking are in almost every single Pokemon game, and I think the exceptions are Legend Arceus and Scarlet and Violet. I believe Seaking finally got the Dexit. It might not... I think there might be a few other games it's not in, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, another interesting thing to note about Seaking, of which I was just reminded, in Generation 1, Waterfall was its signature move. No other Pokemon could learn it because it wasn't a TM or an HM in Generation 1. They decided to make Waterfall an HM in Generation 2, and so Seaking lost the distinction of being the only one that could use it. Alright, anyway, let's give Super back her soft sand. Yeah, and I can have Super hold on to the soft sand, and then I can give Peachon the icicle plate. But before we do any of that, we gotta repel. Let's repelling! Alrighty, anyway. I think I was going on about something else, but I don't remember what. I just remember going on and on about Seaking. Alright, anyway, right here, we trigger cutscene. Hey, Lucas, what, you finally come along now? Slow. Way too slow. Listen, Lucas, see how the rocks are all lumpy here? You can't climb those rocks until you get the Snowpoint Gym badge. Anyway, I'm off, Team Galactic. Team Galactic, I'm coming for you. Phrasing Barry. Anyway, let's see if there's anything to the left. Well, I mean, what did he really expect me to come all the way up here? What made him think I would come up here? He was the one assigned to this lake, not me. Ugh. You know, using repels to run through the grass is probably the best idea ever on this route because of the stupid deep snow that is stupid. Alright, anyway, ooh, item. Pop a new repel. Actually, we can skirt around the grass here. We don't need to waste repels. Yay, Ultra Ball. Not to mention, learning to not be wasteful with your item usage makes the difference in speed running, because you have a fixed number of items to make use of. In a speed run, you don't really go out of your way to farm or get items or anything like that. Alright, anyway, here we are, Snowpoint City. Ooh, there's an item down here. Anyway, remember that there is a boat here. I will not be going back to it later. But it is very important. I will not remind you later. If you're playing the Diamond and Pearl remakes, which I wouldn't really recommend all that much, to be perfectly honest, but that's not the point. The point is, if you happen to be playing those, you can make sure you are wearing your winter gear when you come here for special rewards from people. I think there is one lady who will be like, oh, your clothes, they make me feel so warm. And I like Dawn's winter outfit in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Yeah. Alright, anyway, there isn't really much to Snowpoint City. There is a lady here who will ask you for a Medicham in exchange for her Haunter, and that lady, being the most frustrating person in existence gave her haunter an Everstone. Only the chosen may enter the Snowpoint Temple. I'm sorry, but you will have to leave. Oh, I wanted to see inside the temple. I'm doing a Let's Play here. I'm trying to show everybody all the things everywhere, and you're ruining that. Alright, anyway, let's see if we can find that lady so I can set her on fire. It's what the matches are for. Let's see. What unique things do you sell, Mr. Sir? Dusk, Quick, Timer Ball. I don't know if any of those are unique. I know the Quick Balls certainly aren't. Anyway, Timer Balls, those might be worth mentioning and bringing up and talking about. So a Timer Ball is a special Pokeball that will work the longer the battle has taken place. So the more time you spend in a battle, the better the odds that a Timer Ball will work. I think it takes at least 10 turns for it to be more effective than an Ultra Ball, though. Oh, yeah, this is the lady. If you do, would you trade your Medicham for my Haunter? I am not trading my Yogapun for your Haunter. I love how my girl has so much vivacity and charm. Vivacity, that is a word. I wonder if vivacity means lying cheater face. Because that is what she is. Anyway, more importantly, here is the gym, the Snowpoint Gym. This is one of the few Ice-type gyms in the Pokemon games where the gym is more actually a an Ice-type gym than it is a Water-type gym. Because most Ice types before this game, most Ice types are half Water type. So most Ice type trainers before this point came across as Water type trainers. Most notably Lorelei in Generation 1, or Kanto if you prefer. Her team is more traditionally a Water type team than it is an Ice type team, considering she is using, in addition to using the half water Ice types Cloyster, Dugong, and Lapras, she also has a Slowbro on her team. Although, to be fair, she does use the only other Ice type available in that region, that other Ice type being Jinx. So aside from those four, the only other option for an Ice type to have given Lorelei in Generation 1 would have been Articuno. And since they wanted legendary Pokemon to be super duper hush hush secret, she couldn't have Articuno. Alright, anyway, so they gave her Slowbro. So that means that only one of Lorelei's Pokemon is not a Water type. So she's effectively an Ice and Water specialist. But she still came out of that a lot better than Agatha did. Since Agatha is supposed to be a Ghost-type specialist, but there were only 3 Ghost types in Generation 1, and they were evolutionary relatives, Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar. There were also no good Ghost-type moves in Generation 1. The most you could get out of Ghost was either Lick or Nightshade. Lick was extremely weak and not worth using, and Nightshade deals a fixed amount of damage, so Ghost didn't really benefit from, Gengar, Haunter and Gengar don't really benefit from having access to it. So, yeah, Ghost types in Generation 1, well, the Ghost type itself isn't really good, but Haunter and Gengar are. And it's not because they're Ghost types, it's because they have amazing special. Alright, anyway, and then I guess one other thing to conclude my rant is that... Oh, what was I ranting about? Oh, right. To conclude my rant about the lady who trades you a Haunter holding an Everstone, is that even though Haunter is not fully evolved, it is more than capable of kicking name and taking ass and all that fun stuff. So, if you do trade her your Medicham for her Haunter, it can still do good work for you. Oh, right. Anyway, now that P-chan has evolved into the mighty Piloswine, we need to leave the gym. Because you may have noticed as I was scrolling through my inventory that I do indeed have a heart scale. I got one off screen in preparation for getting my adorable little Peachon. And while Piloswine would probably be Gouda enough, I want to use Mamoswine. And I think if I remember what I read correctly, Mamoswine's Japanese is hilarious. It's Mamu. Alright, let's see. Yes, teach one of my Pokemon a move. While I should get Yogapun some more moves, we are going to focus on Peachon for now. Teach Peachon Ancient Power. Let's drop Icy Wind. Alrighty. Ooh, Endure. That is a funny move. Cramorant, one of my favorite Pokemon from Sword and Shield, who did not make it into Scarlet and Violet. Murgur. Anyway, Cramorant makes very funny use of Endure. Cramorant's ability, Gulp Missile, allows it to, when it uses Surf or Dive, it picks up a Pokemon that it holds on and enters a different form, although not really. It'll either scoop up an Arrokuda or a Pikachu, guaranteed. It'll scoop up Arrokuda if it is above half HP, or at or above half HP, and then it'll scoop up Pikachu if it falls below half HP. And the unique thing with the Pokemon it scoops up is the next time Cramorant would take damage, it'll spit out the Pokemon it scooped up. If it hits the opponent with an Arrokuda, it'll lower the opponent's defensive stats. But if it spits out Pikachu, it'll paralyze them, and they'll also deal a fixed amount of damage. So the idea is you use a really slow Cramorant and Surf on the first turn. Oh my goodness, that did a lot of damage. Maybe I shouldn't have insulted Glalie so much. Anyway, you would Surf, and since you're slower than your opponent, they would probably knock you to below half health. Hopefully not completely one-shot you, because Cramorant is kind of weak, but that's not the point. The point is, once you are below half health, and then you use Surf, you will have eaten a Pikachu. And then, that's where the fun begins. You use Endure to make sure your opponent's next hit will not KO you. And then Cramorant will spit that Pikachu out. And after spitting the Pikachu out, Cramorant will then paralyze the opponent and be faster than it. So it can Surf, grab a new Pikachu, hopefully KO the opponent, and then move on with its day. And holy balls, that is a level 44 Piloswine. It probably knows electric moves too, or not electric, ground type moves too. Let us swap to our Fire Pun. Aha! I have successfully predicted your Earthquake, madame. Alrighty then. Fortunately, I do believe Fire Pun was able to deal with all of her Pokemon, because I think that was the only one she had. Isaiah is boy. Alright, anywhoozin. What was I gonna do? I don't remember. Anyway. Oh, that's not a good direction to go. Okay, so you gotta go here, up there, there. Okay. Now we just need to hit that other one. If you are playing this in Diamond and or Pearl, you must be very cautious, my friends. Very cautious indeed. Or indeedy. And that is because in Diamond and Pearl, it was actually possible to get soft locked in this gym. I think there was a certain way you could break the blocks that would make it impossible to continue, or something to that effect. So in Platinum, they actually changed up the order of the balls, and all that fun stuff. I recently watched the speedrun. I saw how they broke through all the balls, and I completely forgot about it. Anyway, I've also been contemplating more on why these Pokemon games have puzzles in the gyms, and my reasoning for my assumption / reasoning or whatever for that is variety. Solving a puzzle is something other than Pokemon battle related, so it gets a youngster's mind engaged with more than just the battling mechanics. And so it gets basically just provides gameplay variety so people don't get bored, more or less. I don't know why I was trying to make that sound dramatic. That was a very simple thing to say. But as should already be apparent, English is not something I am good at. I'm not good at a lot of things, and English is one of them. Pokemon battling seems to be one of them, though. Although my frequent wipes and all that fun stuff when I attempt challenge modes would explain otherwise. I should actually start recording those, but I only have so much storage space on my shitty PC that is shit, so little column A, little column B. Alright, anyway. I think we have to go here, and then whoosh. Alright, and I believe that... Oh, we already battled you. Alright, anywho's in. Yeah, I don't know how to get to all the trainers in this gym. Let's see. Meh. Because I don't know how to battle her. You know what? It does not matter. Wait, no, yes it does. We have to battle everyone. It's in the Geneva Convention. Alright, so go here, and then here. That is so satisfying. Alright, and then we go across here to battle this lady. And also, I do want to show off the post-game stuff, and you need to unlock the national dex to do that, so battling every trainer is pretty much mandatory. Let's Thunderbolt it. I know Sneasel has a quadruple weakness to fighting, but Rock Smash is such a pathetically weak move that I doubt Disney would be able to get a one-hit KO with Rock Smash, even considering she has decent enough attack and Sneasel has a quadruple weakness. Although Sneasel also did a lot of damage. Holy balls! Or maybe Disney's just that fragile, because holy balls! Definitely can't swap her directly into Gyarados'. Alright, another Sneasel. I think we might be good. You know what? Let's experiment with that Rock Smash. Let's see if we fall for the super effective Swindle. We fell for the super effective Swindle. That was a one-hit KO. Well, not really, but yes. Okay, anyway. Let us get revenge with our Fire Pun. Alrighty. Fire Pun might have already hit level 45 by this point if I hadn't decided to start training up a completely brand new critter who is horribly underleveled. But that's not the point. The point is, Pichon is getting more and more experience, and soon, very soon, we will have a competent thingamadoodad. Why'd I do that? Oh, right. That's right. We need to go to the Pokemon Center. I do not know if it resets all the snowballs in the gym if we're leaving. I mean, I left once already, and I forgot to double check that. But that's okay. That is a-okay. Fortunately, or hopefully, Disney will not be fainted again. And if she does, I guess I can just revive her using a revive. Alright, anyway, not the point. The point is, I intend to lead the gym battle against the gym leader with Fire Pun, and Fire Pun will be able to get her. Alright, and it looks like that reset it. Okay, not a problem. I think we can solve this. Alright, anyway, let's go down and battle her. Alrighty, Ace Trainer Brianna. You also have a Sneasel. How dare you? Alright, now let's test our super effective Swindle. Rock Smash! Hopefully this isn't a critical hit, because that might be a one-shot on poor little Disney. Frail Disney. Oh, it's not even a two-shot from this Sneasel. Well, I guess to be fair, that other one was at a lower level. Anyway, that did not quite one-shot. It was a super effective Swindle. But I do want Disney to get the EXPs. Oh, now you paralyze it. Always when you least need it. It's the same thing with critical hits in Fire Emblem, or at least in Path of, not Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn. I always got a critical hit whenever I didn't need them in Radiant Dawn. But critical hits in Fire Emblem, unless you are specifically planning to get them, they tend to be very bad. Speaking of very bad, that's a Snow Runt. I believe it's frail enough that Disney can just Thunderbolt it. Yay! Disney got the KO with a Thunderbolt. Alrighty. And the last one is Snover. Yeah, Snowrit and Snover are very easy names to mix up. Alright, anyway, let's swap out. Fire Pun, you're up. Wood Hammer, that's not gonna be very effective. Fire Pun is quadruple resistant to ice. Wahaha. Wait, no, not ice. Grass. Fun fact, in Generation 1, Charizard is actually weak to ice. The Generation 1 type chart was a smidge different than in other generations, or in the following generations. So, fire did not resist ice in Generation 1. Other notable quirks is that bug and poison were super effective against each other, and that means that in Generation 1 only, Bulbasaur is the first Pokemon in Pokédex order that has a quadruple weakness, and that's to bug. Fortunately, there aren't any good bug-type moves, so Bulbasaur didn't really need to worry about that. Anyway, here we go. Now, Pichon is evolving once again. She's only gained 2 levels. And here we have it, Mamoswine. Mamoo! Yeah, I'm not sure if Pichon is an appropriate name for her, but it doesn't matter. What does matter is she is still very far behind the rest of the team. But she's got a good attack stat, so that's something. Anyway, something else is we're gonna pop a couple of Moo Moo Milks on Fire Pun and Disney. We want to get them nice and healed up. Alrighty, they are now healed up and nice. Okay, so we break this one. We need to make our way back to the beginning. But before we do that, we gotta break that one and go up here and break that one. Okay. Back down again. Come on, back down. There we go, there we go. Okay. Oh, wait, no, we don't need to go all the way back to the beginning. We can just go up there, right here, and then whoop. Yay, okay. Alrighty. Let's see here. And then over this way. Back up here. And to the entrance. And now we just walk straight down the middle. Or run in this case, because that's what I felt like doing. Alright, is everyone ready? I hope you are, because we're going right in. You want to challenge Candace? Sure thing, I was waiting for someone tough. But I should tell you, I'm tough because I know how to focus. Pokemon, fashion, romance, it's all about focus. I'll show you just what I mean. Get ready to lose. Alrighty. Fun fact about the gym leaders of Sinnoh, actually, is that there is an even spread of boy and girl gym leaders. So, 4 boy gym leaders, 4 girl gym leaders. They don't alternate when you challenge them, though, because there's Rourke, then Gardenia, and then either Fantina or Maylene, then Crasher Wake, or... yeah, and then you get the idea. Basically, they didn't alternate the gym leaders, but there is an even spread of 4 and 4. Alright, Obama Snow! He's bringing the hail! Alrighty, but that's not gonna stop our fresh-baked fire puns! I need to actually think of some good fire puns, because that joke's probably worn very thin by this point. I have no idea. Anyway, not the point. The point is that our fire pun has successfully extinguished the Obama Snow. Oh, Abominable Snowman. I just got that. Alright, Pylo Swine. Well, why don't you have a Mammo Swine, canned ice? Well, it doesn't matter. This is a hopefully clean sweep for Fire Pun. Unfortunately, Candace's last Pokemon may be very problematic. So this might be one of the battles where it is actually better to stall or wait a little bit because of Frostlass. So Frostlass, she has the same Snow Cloak ability as Mamoswine, so when it is hailing, she has more evasion. She's also level 44. Anyway, so it is a bit possible to actually miss that attack against Frostlass. In an ideal world, you might be able to bait Candace into sending Frostlass out first. In Diamond and Pearl, she doesn't have a Frostlass, since Frostlass was added to the Platinum Dex. Wow, you're great. You've earned my respect. I think your focus and will bowled us over totally. Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to give you this. The Icicle Badge from Canned Ice. That Icicle Badge I just gave you, because you have it, you can use the hidden move Rock Climb anytime, even when you're not in a battle. Oh, and take this too. TM72. TM72 contains the move Avalanche. If the user takes damage, the move's power is doubled. Can you imagine what sort of focus you'd need to pull it off? I suppose so, although I'd personally prefer to just KO the opponent in one go, because grr. Alright, anyway, now that we have Rock Climb, the badge, and a Pokemon that can use it, because I don't think any of my other Pokemon could Rock Climb before I got Peachon, we can now continue the story. So, yeah, if you were actually looking for a Pokemon to be able to use Rock Climb at this point in the game, and you aren't using B-Barrel, Mamoswine. Or I think even Piloswine can learn it. I forgot to double-check that. But in worst-case scenario, evolving into Mamoswine isn't all that difficult. All you would need is a Heart Scale and 2 rare candies. So, in an emergency, Mamoswine gets the job done for rock climbing purposes. And since it's so late in the game, its level might be high enough that if you need a if you need a ground type or an ice type for battling purposes, you've got one. Alright, anyway, let's go ahead and put Disney back up front. Fire Pun got to sweep the entire gym, but not really, because I tried to train up Disney and all that. Not the point. The point is, Fire Pun soloed the gym leader, and that's what's important. Because, you know, Pokemon, you should be able to just take out the gym leader using a single Pokemon. It's not like the game is about building up a diverse team and befriending all the Pokemon you can. No, it's about using just one. Which is why they give you 6 team slots. Anyway, I want to wrap up the bits of story we got up here. Oh god, this snow is unbearable. Rock Climb. A Reaper Cloth. Ooh. So, Reaper Cloth, that is an item for Dusclops. You have to give it to Dusclops and then trade it, and it'll evolve into Dusknoir. Or Dusknoir, which is a detective cat. Exclamation point! We're reaching new levels of Ellipsis gaming here. You're not getting away with this, Team Galactic! Oh, are you finished already? Your Pokemon aren't bad, but you're laughably weak. You honestly thought you could save the Pokemon of the lake and become the Pokemon champion? Dream on, little kid. But ew, it's so cold here. Let's go back to the Veilstone headquarters. Oh, don't I know you? We met in Eterna City. Listen, Team Galactic is going to do something huge for everyone's sake. That's why you should keep out of Team Galactic's way. Don't come whining about poor Pokemon and other trivial junk like that. Don't waste your time coming to our HQ in Veilstone. Now, if you'll excuse me. Oh wow, Barry lost to her. I knew he was pathetic. Ellipsis Gaming ... Yeah, that's right. I couldn't do anything against Team Galactic. That Pokemon called Uxie, it was suffering. I'm gonna get tougher. It's not about winning or losing. That's not good enough. I have to be stronger. It's not enough to just want to be the most powerful trainer ever. It takes honest effort and a determined heart. Sorry if that was too whiny, but I felt like Barry should be whiny right there. Kind of fits that he would go from being extremely overconfident to extremely whiny based on winning that first battle, since that was effectively luck-based. Oh, right, I don't remember if I already mentioned it, but from that speed run of Pokemon Platinum I watched recently, I learned that you can't actually get critical hits in that opening battle. They're completely disabled for some reason, so I don't think there was a chance I was ever going to win that. But that's not the point. The point is, I'm gonna go get the Ice Beam TM. I'll see you when we're at the rocks we have to climb to get there. Alright, here we are. So this is the rock, climb rock. This is where we need to go to get a free TM13 Ice Beam. I suppose I could go with TM, I think 14 is Blizzard, but I don't want to use Blizzard. I want to use Ice Beam. I guess that actually is one main benefit to using Obama Snow if you want Ice-type coverage. Since it brings the hail with it, it is guaranteed to have perfect accuracy blizzards until your opponent decides to change the weather or they just knock it out with a fire-type move because it's got a quadruple weakness to fire. But that's not the point. The point is, guaranteed perfect accuracy blizzards are neat. Wow, Disney, you did not KO that Machoke. I thought you were gonna get a one-shot, Disney, but you didn't. You didn't. Maybe you need the choice specs more than I thought. What is it? Oh yeah, Disney's holding the magnet. Anyway. One other item I found while I was digging in the underground, it rhymes because it's true, was the Zap Plate. They actually have a couple of those plates underground. I'm not 100% sure if all of them can be obtained underground or just the ones that aren't in the overworld, if any of them aren't in the overworld. Since there was lore printed on the back of them, or, well, not really lore, but, well, no, I guess it counts as lore. Anyway, since it had stuff printed on the back of them, I had assumed that every single elemental plate was somewhere in the overworld, so that way you could read the stuff, but maybe they're not. In any case, if you're looking for a specific plate and you don't find it in the overworld, it might be underground exclusive. Might be, but I would recommend doing research, because research is a thing people should do. Anyway, these Pokemon are actually at a pretty low level. Maybe I should be trying to level up Peach on here. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Let's get that Ice Beam TM first. I want to have access to that, and I want to use it on my Bird Pun. Bird Pun doesn't need Quick Attack. Although I'll probably regret not having Quick Attack. But in worst case scenario, if I really need Quick Attack, I can delete Rock Smash and then reteach Quick Attack onto Disney here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and swap to Super. Mud Bomb? How dare you? I should have gone to Bird Pun. Yeah, I really should have. I did. Meh. That's on me. That's my beef, folks. Anyway, surfing time. Yeah. Alrighty. And I think they'll have one more. No, Super was buffed by Hail. Ew, Snover. We gotta swap out for that. Fire Pun, you're back up. To be fair, Fire Pun may have gotten the KOs there just from, just because of the choice specs back in the gym. I don't really know how many of those critters might not have fallen to a flamethrower, but the choice specs definitely didn't hurt at the very least. Although I was a little worried that they might hurt a little bit because Aerial Ace never misses. So if I was having poor luck with Flamethrower, my evil plan would have been to swap Fire Pun out and then swap back in to use Aerial Ace instead. But Hail only lasts 5 turns, I think. Wait, no, it was brought on by Obama's, or an ability. So, when an ability causes a weather condition in generations 3 through 5, that weather effect is permanent until changed. That was one of the reasons why the Generation 5's competitive scene is dubbed the Weather Wars. Oh. I taught Disney a grass-type move for situations just like this, and I completely forgot about it. Ice Shard? How dare you? But, yeah, anyway, so the Weather Wars really got out of hand in Generation 5, because in Generations 1 through, or Generations 3 and 4, weather-changing abilities were either not really all that useful or limited to Pokemon that were in the Uber tier and technically banned. So Kyogre and Groudon used to be the only Pokemon that could bring a permanent sun or rain effect. So if you wanted to play around with those, you would need to play in the Uber tier. And then the only other effect that could bring in a weather condition in Generation 3 was Sandstream on Tyranitar. And Sandstream, while I don't think in Generation 3 it actually buffed the special defense of the Pokemon it didn't hurt, yeah, it didn't buff their defenses, so it was actually a bit worse in Generation 3, so using Tyranitar was more of a handicap than a boon because of the Sandstorm. And then trying to build around the Sandstorm wasn't really a good idea, because Rock, Steel, and Ground have a few overlapping weaknesses that they might struggle to cover without going outside of those types. Anyway, not the point. The point is, in Generation 4, while weather effects were still permanent when caused by an ability, the Weather Wars still didn't really start because the only new one that was accessible outside of the Ubers tier was Blizzard, and Blizzard is even worse than Sandstorm, especially since they think they buffed Sandstorm in Generation 4 to apply that special defense boost. Ooh, Mental Herb. Anyway, so yeah, the Weather Wars didn't get started until Generation 5, when they gave Drought and Drizzle to Ninetales and Politoed, respectively. Yeah, Ninetales and Politoed otherwise aren't really good Pokemon to be using. If you did not need the weather, you did not use one of those two. But because those two had access to Drought and Drizzle, it meant that the regular battling scene had access to or the non-Uber tier had access to permanent weather conditions, and thus the Weather Wars began. If you did not have a team that was built around a weather condition, you needed a team member, you needed a way to counter the opponents who could use the weather conditions. And if you didn't, you basically could not compete in Generation 5's metagame. So, very unfortunate there, I guess. Or maybe not so unfortunate. Not the point. The point is, Generation 6 decided to put an end to the Weather Wars by making it so weather conditions, no matter how they're started, could only last 5 turns. And you could extend that turn count by giving your Pokemon a specific held item that would boost the duration of the weather they cause. So that was a thing. Anyway. And yeah, and I'm pretty sure those weather-inducing items were introduced in Generation 5, or not Generation 5, in Generation 6, but they might have actually been around earlier than that. I do not remember. Let's see. Snow, I hate you! There it is, TM13 Ice Beam. Alright. Yeah, and then usually these, the TMs for Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, and Flamethrower, they started to become easily available in Generation 3. So in Generation 1, I believe all 3 of those TMs, or, well, no, they didn't have a Flamethrower TM, but you could easily get one for Ice Beam, and Thunderbolt was given to you by Lieutenant Surge. In Generation 2, those moves were not TMs, so if you wanted easy access to one of those 3 elements, for lack of a better word, you would need to be able to use one of the elemental punches. And so, Generation 2 was mainly dominated by Pokemon that could punch, like Alakazam. Or, yeah, well, not sure about the competitive side of things, but at least the in-game side of things. And then in Generation 3, Flamethrower, Ice Beam, and Thunderbolt were all available in the casino, and they remained that way for Generation 4, and then Generation 5 didn't have a casino, and TMs no longer broke, so they just gave you the Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, and Ice Beam later on in the adventure, so it wouldn't be too broken. Anywhoozin, we are all healed up, so I'm gonna go ahead and call that here. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.